Hello, friends. So I wanted to create this video for you because, you know, I've invested through up and down cycles. And I know a lot of investors out there who have started in the last, 5 to 10 years, and maybe you haven't seen a market roll over, or maybe you're a new investor and you're looking to get started. So I thought I owed you kind of my top 5 mistakes that real estate investors make at the top of the market. Again, I saw these, I saw the pain, I saw the arrogance, I saw a lot of things that I think are avoidable. So I took some time this morning, created a presentation with the top 5, and I thought I would talk about them. So let me just share that with you now. Again, let's hope technology helps us here. Let me just expand this. All right, so again, the 5 mistakes real estate investors make at the top of the market. If you've been following this channel for any length of time, you know that I think we're at least, if we're not at the top, we are very, very close to the top. Actually, I'm going to stop saying that. I think we're at the top of the market, and I think that means it could roll over here. And hence, I think it's important to talk about these. So here's the first one. They're too focused on their business to see the changing market, and they need to adjust their buying criteria and hold times. So what I mean here is, there are lots of people out there running 6, 8, 10 projects at a time. They just keep their head down. And what that means is they don't see that, hey, their walkthroughs or their open houses are getting 50% less people because maybe they outsourced it. Maybe they don't have the systems and processes to check what's going on. They're not seeing that, they used to get 20 offers. Now they're getting 2. What used to take, 10 days on markets, now 21. Right? So they don't see that their hold time is getting longer. And if they're not seeing that their exit is longer away and less profitable, and they're not adjusting their buying criteria. So what I saw happen last time to folks into the changing market is they kept buying as fast as they had historically, not realizing that, they went from 6 to 8 projects to now having 12 to 14. And it's all because their hold times got longer. But what happens when this compounds on itself is your cost of money, your hard money loans, your carrying costs, your teams, everything gets spread thinner, and you can start getting sloppy. And once the dominoes started falling on the teams last time, it started to cause major pain. So this is why I tell my students all the time. It's why I still look at my market nearly every day now. I would say, honestly, I don't look 7 days a week anymore, probably 5 days a week. But again, I looked every day for a decade. So you could see the market changing, right? And that's with no special access. You're just seeing stuff that normally goes fast, stay on a little bit longer. So if you're starting to see this, you should have systems in place, or you should have people you trust that tell you. And if the exit is taking longer and more expensive, please stop buying or significantly adjust your buying criteria. This is where things start to go south for folks that are killing it. Their carrying costs and their risks explode when they're not paying attention. So that's number 1. Number 2 is all about ego and arrogance. They think that they can dance through the rain and not get wet. That's just foolish. The market is the market, and the market can be a lot more irrational for longer than we can expect, and it can also crush you and take your money away. Nobody is that good or that special. The market impacts everyone. So if everything you have touched turned to gold, you're doing 100% return on money, whatever it is, for the last 5 years, a changing market is going to hurt you. Don't be so arrogant that you think you can dance through the rain and not get wet. This is a big one, and a specific story comes to mind. There was an individual who had the opportunity in the Silicon Valley, so the numbers are pretty skewed. They could have taken a $50,000 loss in, I think this was '07. They decided to hold out, hoping for another offer, which never materialized. So instead of taking a $50,000 loss, which would have certainly hurt, there's no question, that hurts everyone. They ended up losing the property altogether 8 months later and lost several $100,000. So sometimes when your inventory is exploding and your sell time is longer and your carrying cost is killing you, take the small loss. I call it getting small, right? Insulate yourself, understand what's going on. And, sometimes you got to survive another day, right? If the market's going one way and you got the wrong inventory, it's above median and there's a lot more stuff available and there's no buyers, sell. Take the 50K loss now so you don't lose it, damage your credit, and take a six-figure loss later. I know it hurts. It just, sometimes this is the way things go. Here's another one, and I actually see a couple of people doing this now. I know it feels good. I know you think you're a big baller, and expanding in the new businesses or into maybe even new markets that you don't know. Investigating in a new market that you don't know when the market is rolling over or changing is perhaps one of the most risky things you could do, because all the data you're collecting is top of market data and you're not going to be in the know, right? It takes 90 to 120 days to learn a market. You're going to be learning a market with kind of artificially spiked numbers. And then if the economy turns and unemployment doubles, you're going to have no context for what happens in that area. Putting new money to work, especially value add, fixing stuff up into a new market that you don't know, I think is extremely risky. I think it works great in a seller's market that's, where time, is your friend. But we have full employment, it just feels wrong. Now, again, I say this and, a couple people come to mind and I'm sure they're going to crush it. I wish them nothing but the best. But I think investing in a new market at the top of a market is perhaps one of the riskiest things, because not only could you put any money and time invested in this new market, you're going to be taking your focus off your old market, which you are clearly dominating and one of the biggest fish in that market. So you could get cut both ways. So this is a concern of mine. And then the last one is, right, when your little pile of investments are in trouble and you're scrambling around trying to save them and put them together, sometimes people take their eye off and they stop looking for deals to buy. A changing market is one of the best times to be buying. You obviously need to adjust your buying criteria, get a lot cheaper, don't buy as many, be very selective. But some of the best investments I have made were into a changing market, because sometimes sellers have to sell. They'll take anything. And everybody disappeared. Owner occupants go away because they're afraid. Other investors who used to be competition go away because they're trying to save their stuff. And there's just literally diamonds and bricks of gold laying on the ground. I fully expect that to happen again. So make sure you're still looking and you're always engaged in your market and learning. So in the end, I just wanted to close this by saying changing markets are awesome times to invest, especially if you do what I say, right? Learn your market, understand what it is, understand what average is, only look to buy good and great deals. You are going to not only survive, but thrive in a changing market. That's what I want for you. That's what I want for my students. And that's why I spend so much time giving back, because I think a changing market is awesome. I fully expect to take advantage of it, and I hope you will too. So those are my top 5. There are more. I created this for a few folks that I know hopefully will watch this. If you are watching this, these are real mistakes. I've seen people with 8-figure businesses go bankrupt because they didn't appreciate it last time. So if this is where you are, I suggest, if you're in a business that's doing 6 to 8 deals and the time's getting longer, do whatever you can to get smaller, right? Keep doing your business, right? You got to keep the engine going, but this is not the time to double down. This is definitely the time to get more aggressive on purchase price because you make your money when you buy. So hopefully this makes sense. Hopefully I saved somebody from this, and have a great day. Thanks.